What's up, everybody? So we're gonna talk about resentment and why it's like really bad for you. Okay, so right off the bat, resentment is pretty much when you've built up enough like hatred or something towards something, and you just have like this inner feeling of just hatred for something. Like for example, like if you have a partner and you've been married for a long time, it can happen over a short time. Let's say you've been married for 5, 10 years, whatever, and they never listen to you. Okay, you could become resentful of that because you've never expressed it. You've never talked about it, and so you've bottled it up, right? And you always felt unappreciated or angry. This is just an example. But what happens is all that anger kind of manifests inside of you, and it builds up to resentment. It doesn't obviously. It's not just in relationships. Okay, it's just an example. It could be with work, your boss. It could be you're unhappy with yourself. You could be very resentful with yourself. It could happen with anything, okay? But it's a buildup of anger over time, and then eventually it just kind of hangs on inside of you, and then you feel it involuntarily. So resentment is very bad for you. It's extremely unhealthy, and it will ruin your life, because what happens is you just feel angry all the time towards that certain thing, or you could be angry all the time in general because you're just so full of hatred. And a lot of people, probably wonder, well, how do you fix that? Well, first of all, you should express your feelings. You should talk about it. You should find a way to relieve it. Now, let's say if it's a partner or something, talk to them, sit them down, and be like, "This is what's bothering me. This is what's bothering me about, I've been feeling this way for some time, or if it's just now starting to bother you, good. The sooner the better you talk about it. That's great, because then you don't want it to be an issue later on. Discuss it with your boss, with your parents, with your significant other, even if it's about yourself, you know what I'm saying? Then talk to yourself about it. Self-development is very important, okay? And resentment is very bad for you. That's the first option, is to talk about it. The second one is to let it go. I almost think that's harder, because then you just kind of have to not worry about it anymore. You don't want to let it go. I get it. But the second option, if you can't, just talk to someone, or you don't want to, is to just let it go. Life's too short to be resentful. Your life is beautiful, and if you're holding on to resentment and anger, your life is not going to be too much fun. Okay, it might be when you're not thinking about it, sure, but it's always going to come back, and those moments when it comes back are not very fun. So simply letting it go. And I know you might be saying, well, that sounds way too simple and cliche. Well, I mean, for a reason. It's hard to let things go, but if you'd just say, already, 3, 2, 1, done. Forget it. It's none of your business anymore. It might have just, you might be resentful over something that happened 10 years ago. Well, why are you letting something from 10 years ago ruin your day? You have control over that. Don't be a victim to people or life. It's not how you should live your life. So second option is to just let it go. Third option could be, distract yourself. Find a hobby. I don't think it's really good advice, though. I think the first two are the better ones, because you don't want to just ignore it. But find a hobby. Maybe take your mind off of it. If it's a short-term thing. If you've been resentful for 10 years, I don't think just finding a hobby is going to fix it. Okay, because then that's a long time of issues. You need to do something like the first two options. But if it's something that's just starting out, you're starting to feel angry towards somebody, distance yourself, distract yourself, and calm yourself down, and maybe you'll let go of it that way. I guess it's more for the short term, I think. Like I said, if it's a long-term problem, you might want to talk about it, or just simply consciously just let it go. You're bigger than that. Life is really short, like I said, and I don't think you want to spend your time being hateful or feeling hatred towards something, should I say, because life can end on you unexpectedly. No one's invincible, and do you want your last emotions to be resentment? I wouldn't want that. So that's all for this video. Just resentment's very bad for you, and like I said, it happens whenever you're just angry at something for a long time. Something's bothering you, and usually it's because people bottle it up. They don't say anything. be vocal about it. Don't let it just bottle up, because when you bottle up your emotions, well, you're gonna explode one day, and or you're just gonna have lifelong resentment, and it will ruin your life. So that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. But as always, guys, stay awesome. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate life. And I'll see you guys in the next video.